Welcome, everybody. We've multiplied, as you've noticed. So happy you're all here, and so happy to have our venerable siblings in robes visiting us. Just by way of introduction, for those of you who haven't yet met our visiting Ayyas, we've got 3 monastics from Parayana, which is in Port Townsend, and headed by Venerable Ayya Anandabodhi. And we've got Venerable Kunga, now named Silananda, the one who delights and rejoices in sila, or virtue, and Venerable Satima. And we also have 2 of our venerable siblings from Pasadi Vihara over in Olympia. And that's Ayya Suvijana and Ayya Jnanika. So glad you're all here. And we've given some background to most of the Ayyas, but would just give a little bit more biographical details on Venerable Satima and Venerable Silananda, since they haven't been here as much. So Venerable Satima was born in Arkansas, and I would tell you the year that she was born, but you would not believe me. You would think I was lying. You would think I was lying. A very impressive practitioner. We've known them for some years now, but started practice with Tara Brach and lived with Bhanteji in West Virginia, and took Bhikkhuni ordination last year in 2024, but was teaching and practicing for a long time before that. So happy to have you in the Pacific Northwest with us, Venerable.
And some of you will remember, who here remembers Venerable Kunga from the Paba, the robe offering we had? Yeah, so we now have Venerable Kunga, who will be, from now on, Venerable Silananda, one blissful in virtue, or the bliss of virtue, up here near Port Townsend, near us, with Ayya Anandabodhi. And we're just so delighted about that. We've been friends with Venerable Silananda for many years, visiting her at Sarvasti, and just delighted she's here. She took seminary ordination at Sarvasti Abbey in 2019, and then took full Bhikshuni ordination in 2024, I believe, after a long break from COVID. So, we're delighted to have you, Ayya. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we've got a couple of announcements, maybe starting with Bonnie. Actually, Christina, thank you.
Hey everybody, good morning. I have a couple of volunteer request announcements. So Clear Mountain is looking for a couple of event coordinators. Our most immediate need for the event coordinator is that we're planning our annual New Year's Eve celebration event. So we do need somebody who is willing to assist with the pre-planning and the day of coordination of that event. The event starts around 6 p.m. and goes all the way till 6 a.m. the next morning, so you would need to be available all of New Year's Eve. And if you're not, we still would like to round out our event coordinator crew. So if you're interested in event planning for other events throughout the year for Clear Mountain, come and see me and let me know, and we'll get you added to the roster. Additionally, for our friends on Zoom, we're looking for another Zoom coffee hour host to help Mary and David out. We do a weekly Zoom coffee hour after the gathering every Saturday, and if you're a regular attendee and you're interested in joining that team for moderation, please reach out to David Hager or Mary Webster in the chat on Zoom, and they'll connect you with me. Additionally, we have a Dana box in the back for St. Mark's. They graciously donate us this space every week and have for several years. So if you're feeling compelled to offer Dana, there is a box on the table with the books in the back. And I'm going to pass the mic on to a couple more people. We're not quite done yet.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to make an announcement for the almsgiving ceremony for Parayana Vihara on December the 7th in Port Townsend Community Center. As you might not know yet, previously Parayana Vihara just had 2 monastics, but we are now going to go through 3 monastics, and we have 2 lay people staying there now. So we have 5 people there now at Parayana Vihara, and there have been at least a couple of people signing up to want to ordain with Ayya. So we are growing very rapidly, and hoping for your support on December the 7th. And we have a sign-up sheet for our newsletter, and we have a bookmark for our website address if you would like. And if any question, please come to talk to me. Thank you so much.
Hi, folks. Just here to announce for anyone who wants to explore anatta, which is not self, there's going to be a SIM, Seattle Insight, day-long next weekend with my esteemed colleague Sue's here and 2 other wonderful practitioners. So Saturday, it's on the SIMS website. We've got flyers if you're interested, and we can all explore anatta together.
Okay, can we get sparkly fingers for even more announcements, which I'm about to do? All right, a few final things. One, we have some lonely Tupperware there without names on it by the food table. If you see that empty Tupperware and it's yours, please take it. If not, that Tupperware will be going to someone who is in need. So please take a look. Can I have Aruna stand up? So those of you might have noticed Aruna over the last year and more has been just a pillar of our Saturday event. Our Saturday manager position has held things together in such a quiet, beautiful way from behind the scenes. Aruna has to go on pilgrimage and a few other duties which are leading her to have to step back from that role for the time being. But I just think as a community, really wanting to honor the beautiful gift she gave to us and will continue to give, I'm sure. But just 3 big sadhus for Aruna's lovely devotion to this path. Sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu. And can I have Greg stand? Greg. Yes, you do. Okay, you don't have to stand. Greg doesn't have to stand. Greg will sit, but Greg stepped in as a new Saturday manager for the moment, which is a real gift. So 3 more sadhus for Greg. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. This ability to help out is just so key to everything that happens here. So I really would encourage people to talk to Christina if you can serve as an event coordinator. That New Year's Eve vigil is really fun, and you don't have to stay up all night. We have a nap room. But if you are interested in helping, that would be key. And just to really emphasize how much work our community stewards do, Christina, Bonnie, Jeremy, they hold things together in a lot of beautiful ways. Someone also asked recently if we had a suggestion box, and those community stewards are our suggestion box. So go to them. We really do take seriously people's feedback, but they've helped a lot. Many of you I think some of you realize how key this blossoming of Sangha and Dhamma in the Northwest is, and how this might be one of the few places in the world right now where you have Theravada bhikkhunis and bhikkhus together regularly. It's really amazing. So I would just very much encourage people to visit Parayana's website and participate in their events. You can go visit on a regular basis, and especially in that robe offering. And Pasadi Vihara is this other really blossoming community. They'll be having a volunteer kind of celebration day and bringing in new volunteers who can help out with this really precious vision they have. That'll be Sunday, November 30th. Please look at pasadivihara.org and tap into that and their regular events. They have Sutta study and more. Additionally, if you're interested in supporting them in any way in the meantime or providing donations, etc., just talk to Alex. She's their steward for now. And the next 2 Saturdays, we'll have a ton of monastics, so please make it here if you can. 11 and then 8, at least. Milo is 6, so the men's group is not happening. And I have so much written here. I think that's actually it.
We can all chant together. So chanting books, page 43, the Suffusion with the Divine Abidings in English.
Now let us make the 4 boundless qualities shine forth. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a heart imbued with loving kindness. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with loving kindness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading one quarter, with a heart imbued with compassion. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with loving kindness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading one quarter, with a heart imbued with gladness. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with gladness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading one quarter, with a heart imbued with equanimity. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with equanimity, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will.
So let's find a posture for meditation. And as we draw our attention inward, just feeling how it feels to be here at this moment. So as I do that, I'm very aware of the vibrancy and the heartfulness of the connection here with so many good people. Good people doing good things. So just take in how it is for you right now. Bring your attention to the present moment. And knowing how the mind loves to plan, have ideas about the future. Maybe there's somebody in the room you're thinking about and imagining what their life is like, or their mind goes all over the place, likes to keep busy. But for this time, we're just knowing how it is to be embodied, how it is to be sitting here, very simply, breathing in and breathing out, surrounded by good people, in a safe environment where there's some metta being generated, some good energy. And we're just sitting here, bringing our attention inward to this process, this ever-changing process of breathing in and breathing out. Very simple. And you can be aware of this process in the belly rising and falling with each breath. Maybe at the nostrils. Often it's a little bit too close to the thoughts, the nostrils. So you can, if that's the case, come down to your belly and just invite your whole body to rest into this present moment. Sometimes the body likes to take a sigh or a deep breath as it fully arrives here, no longer pulled around by the mind, at least for a moment. So paying attention to this process of breathing as though it were the most important thing in the world, as though your life depended on it. Each precious breath.
as Buddhist monastics, they not allowed to give a talk, a teachings, unless someone requested it. So if you like to join me to request for Dhamma talk, please open the chant book, page 124. But before that, I would like to bow 3 times to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Brahma Jaloka Tipati Sampati Gat Anchalianan Tivarang Ayatata Santi Tasatta Parashakha Shatika Te Se Tu Dhammang Anukam Pimang Pashang.
Namo tassa, Namo tassa, Bhagavato arahato, Samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa, Bhagavato arahato, Samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa, Bhagavato arahato, Samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang Dhammang Sanghang Namasami. So as I was listening to the beautiful request for the Dhamma, I just had this sense of how many, that chant has been done in many places over hundreds or thousands of years, different parts of the world, inviting the Dhamma to be shared, and it opens up the channel, you could say, for the Dhamma to be expressed and also to be heard and to be awakened to be experienced. And there is this most wonderful lineage that we all belong to that goes right back to the Buddha, to Shakyamuni Buddha. It actually goes back further, but for most of us, maybe we think of Shakyamuni Buddha and we have our beautiful images of Gautama Buddha. And we belong to that lineage. So sometimes when we're just like on our own with our thoughts, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like we maybe belong to a different kind of lineage. Our peer group lineage or our ancestral lineage, which is mixed. For most of us, there's some good bits and some really difficult bits that we inherit. And the voice of the sense of self is, it's not shy. It likes to keep a monopoly, really, on what's going on in the mind. And it can be very believable, because it's the voice we hear most of the time. And yet, there is much more here, a much greater picture that each of us can experience, that is discovered through exploring and studying and listening to and practicing the Dhamma. Through through our own individual exploration, we start to find In the beginning, it can sometimes just seem like a little something. You know, it might be like just a moment. That was my experience when I first started to meditate. Continuous narrative of the really unhelpful self, and then just a little moment where it stopped. So wonderful. It took a few hours of meditation for me to get there, but just a moment where it all stopped, and it was so beautiful. And then I realized, oh, that's possible. So it can start as just a little glimpse of something, but then what we find when we keep putting in the right causes and conditions for the stilling of the mind, for the quietening of the mind, and we start to experience that quiet or that spaciousness, or that stillness or presence. At first it might just be a little glimpse, we might just be, catching it for a moment, and then it's so lovely. And that's my experience anyway, it's so beautiful that you can't help but come back and try and find it again. And then over time, that little glimmer, it's a little bit like, you know, being in a room with maybe there's a screen that's showing some movies, and the curtains are closed, the blinds are down, and then you think that's all there is. It's like, first of all, this is quite good, that's a good movie, this is great, and then some bad movies come on, some badly made movies, maybe even some horror movies start playing, and then you're like, I'm not sure if I like this. And we don't realize that we can go to the window and open the curtain and let in the light. But it is like that. So the mind, the sense of self, is always playing out these stories: who I am, who I should be, who somebody else is, how comparing myself to the other person. You know, maybe like one person gets a compliment, and then you feel like, but I'm not like that. I'm really bad, or they don't like me, or you know. So the sense of self, it does this, the ego. And that's like the screen that's playing all these movies. And just as we, you know, we get fascinated by that. But if we can pull our attention away from that and have a look in a different direction, and see whether we can open the curtains a little bit, open the blinds, and then it can let the light shine in. It can let the light of truth shine in. And at first it might just be a little glimpse, like you might even have to sort of clean the window a bit because it's so dusty, and but it's lovely out there. And then as you turn your attention to that glimpse of a greater reality, which is what it is, and pull it away from the fascination of the movies, then you start to realize, like, it's not just a little slither of a view, but that view is looking out at something vast, limitless. And then you start to wonder, how do I open that window? How do I actually step outside of this little room that I've created for myself? The me and mine story, the ancestral challenges, or the hard, difficult childhood, or that thing that somebody did or said or didn't say that can impact us so much. How can we step outside of that into that spaciousness of the Dhamma that is actually vast and limitless? So that, I can't kind of give you the simple answer, like turn the latch and open the window and jump out. The ground's right there. I can't exactly tell you how to do it, but it takes the willingness to pull our attention away from the most stimulating, sensational stuff that's going on, literally on our screens and also in our minds, and to pay attention to the very simple. So like being aware of the breath. When we really develop and cultivate that, it opens up something very beautiful and clear and present. And so not just experiencing you don't just experience the breath in the present, because we do that, but the breath starts to offer teachings. So it starts to show us that, my breath is connected to the breath of all living beings. And the breath is constantly changing. And if I try and hold on to it as my breath, we had some balloons in our vihara a couple of days ago because it was a birthday. So then somebody's blowing up the balloon, and then their breath is in the balloon. That's Brianna's breath in there. They were white balloons. She wears white. Brianna's breath in there, and it is still in there. If we pop those balloons, then you can't call it. It doesn't belong to anyone. It's just the air. It's just breath. So as we settle into the very simple, and it's hard because the mind likes those movies, but as we settle into the very simple and immediate experience, what opens up is truly wonderful. Wonderful and freeing. And it really is like being in a small room and then discovering that there are windows, and then finding maybe a big glass door, and then learning how to open that door. Because at first we might just want to stay inside, look out the windows. But then we can actually step outside, be in the greater reality of the Dhamma. And there are many ways. So in our meditation practice, we can have that experience where things just open up. And it's a different perspective than we've had before sometimes. And that sort of leads us to keep seeking, to keep wanting to understand further, to keep wanting to clear away the things that are in the way of that more open and beautiful reality. And we can't. Most of us, in the Buddha's time, people were waking up right, left, and centre. But for most of us, it's quite a bit of work, And we maybe get a glimpse, and then we're like, oh, hang on a minute, where was that? Where was that window? Oh, this is a good movie. It can be hard for us to find it again. But we do have a choice. We can stay in the little room of the me and mine story that is so believable. And in some ways it might feel safe. Oh, I know who I am. I know my culture. We do it this way, and it can be very comfortable in some ways and safe. But the Dhamma is inviting us to step out of that small story of me and mine into a greater freedom. And I've found it very helpful to reflect on, I think of them as the ancestors, but like spiritual ancestors. So on our shrine we have, on our altar at home, at the Vihara, we have a beautiful picture of Luang Por Chah, where he's looking very present and very, very friendly, very smiley. And then we have an icon, an image of Mahapajapati, who was the founder of the Bhikkhuni order. Thanks to her and the many women who went forth in the Buddha's time, we are able to do that now. And that's an incredible blessing. So I like to have a sense of all of those beings, all of those people going right back 2,600 years, like a lineage behind me. And we have the Bhikkhuni lineage, and the bhikkhus have the bhikkhu lineage, going right back to the Buddha. And you might feel like, well, I don't have that lineage. But if you, and I don't know if you actually offered the 5 precepts here. You do? Yes. Every month? That's nice. So when you take the 5 precepts, then you're entering into the lineage of the Buddha, that he offered for an attuned and a happy and a kind and harmless way of living that supports the practice of awakening. So if you've taken those 5 precepts, you've entered into like the lineage that the Buddha has offered, the lineage of practitioners, And in the Buddha's time, there were lay people who chose to stay in lay life, who had very high levels of awakening. So you can recollect, and maybe if you don't know about them, you can also study, have a look through the suttas, explore the stories of those who have awakened to different levels. And so these people, right from the Buddha's time, have opened up the way, like turning the wheel of Dhamma. And that's been going on in the robes and not in the robes. That's been going on continuously for these 2,600 years. And our coming together at this moment in Dhamma, in practice, is an embodiment of that. So whether we've gained any realization or not yet, don't worry about that. But we're putting ourselves into a context and an environment that supports awakening, hearing the Dhamma, practicing the Dhamma, making acts of generosity, sitting in silence and stillness, having kindness towards each other, or even being irritated by each other and not speaking from that place. That's also part of community life. So we're cultivating these beautiful and wholesome states that support, that create a foundation for awakening. And I think a lot of people don't really think about awakening. It's like, well, I kind of like the community, or, I like meditating, but I'm not really, that's for other people. That's not real. Maybe nobody can do that anymore. But the Buddha did teach the Dhamma for the awakening of beings, for us to find our way back to our true nature. And it can seem like when we read stories of the Arahants, or we think about the word enlightenment, it can seem like something sort of very exalted and hard to even imagine what it could possibly be like, and way out of any of our league. It can seem like that. But as far as I understand it, the path to awakening is coming back to what is very, very simple and ordinary. So it's a paring away of all of the things that get in the way of just being here, fully present, without the push and the pull of wanting and not wanting, and just being just this. So it's very simple, but of course it's complex because our hearts and minds are complex. And, there's such a momentum to become something and to get something and to, realize something. And those momentums are so strong that we can miss the simple beauty and vastness of the present. So we have very good conditions here. We have Sangha, we have community, we have the fourfold assembly gathered. So it's not been so long in the Theravada tradition. It hasn't been so long that this has been happening. I mean, it was happening in the Buddha's time for a long, long time, for hundreds of years. But it was broken for a long time. And then every now and again, occasionally, there has been this gathering of the fourfold assembly, which is happening right now. And it's been really kind of wonderful because it's so rare. And nowadays it's becoming more ordinary. And that's such a blessing. And I really have to express my gratitude to these dear Venerable Brothers in the Dhamma for really understanding the importance of that, and for making opportunities for this to happen, for us to be together. And I also want to pay my respects to the Venerable Bhikkhunis, excuse my back. And for me actually to be to sit like this with other monastics all around me, it's like, oh, so lovely. It's such a lovely thing. And so it hasn't always been this way. There have been times when there are not many. You look around, there's not many monastics around. But now there's a growing strength of this fourfold assembly. So this is a great blessing. So we can, come together at a time like this, and it's a lovely thing to do. There's many elements to this gathering. There's the social element, and the generosity element, and the meditation element, and the, maybe we're your movie screen right now. Be able to watch, listen to the Dhamma and see the monastics. I always found it very, very inspiring to see the robes, actually, just I still do. It was really uplifted me. And then to sit here and see all of you is also very inspiring, so many people. So there are many, many layers of, many reasons, you could say, to gather. But at the core of it, it needs to be always that all of these good things, all of these good activities that we do are here to support a lessening of greed, aversion, confusion. And when those three qualities of greed, aversion and delusion get thinner, then the Dhamma gets brighter and clearer. And the brighter and clearer and more spacious, I want to say, that the Dhamma becomes then in our lives, in our hearts and minds, then the more joy arises, and then the less places those the greed, the hatred and delusion, they have less things to hold on to. So it's an ongoing practice, little by little, to recognize when we're just following confusion, or we're just following greed, or we're just following aversion, or maybe some interesting cocktail of all of them. And it can be fun. That's why we stay caught for so long. It can be fun, but where is it leading? And do I really want to follow this stuff? So it's a training of the mind and a practice to know when we are motivated by aversion, by greed, by confusion, and also to have good friends. So I know at different times, those of us sitting here have been good friends to each other in pointing out, when somebody's gone get on, holding the wrong end of the stick and is going to go in the wrong direction, and then it can give just a little bit of wise advice, and then okay. And that's a great blessing to be able to offer that to each other, and also to be able to receive it. So to help each other, we help each other along this path to awakening. And to the preciousness of being born at a time when the Dhamma is available. So we're here in the West, in a Western culture, where we can hear the Dhamma. It's not a Buddhist country. We're definitely not in a Buddhist country, in America. But we can hear the Dhamma in our own language, for many of us. It's translated into many languages now, the Dhamma, the Buddha's teaching. And we have these amazing conditions right now. We can hear the Dhamma, study the Dhamma, practice the Dhamma, share with each other. We've got all kinds of supports now also for transforming the old karmic patterns that we come in with, the addictive tendencies. There are lots of really good resources now to support us to come out of those really strong addictive habits, and the painful inheritances that many of us come in with from our ancestors, or even just within our family. There are so many good tools now to transform those traumas and those pains that can hold us back. And so we live in such a precious time, a rich time in terms of the potential to awaken. So here it is, the opportunity. And to really bring to mind the preciousness of this life, of this human birth, because we're here, because we have heard the Dhamma, because we're interested enough to show up for this, the preciousness of this opportunity. Goodness knows how many lifetimes we've wandered around, getting lost in this and that, and being reborn as all kinds of things. Who knows? And then here we are. I sometimes think about some of those creatures out there. It's like, oh, I wonder what it takes to get born as a tick. Not that I want to, you know. But, and then, you know, how many creatures there are, tiny little creatures, bacteria and mites and all kinds of little creatures. So they've all arisen, you know, there's some consciousness has taken birth in those ways. So we've got this good opportunity with this human birth to practice the Dhamma, awaken to the Dhamma, support each other in awakening. And I'd like to also give a shout out to parents. So not all of us have had easy parents. Some have, some haven't. But thanks to our parents, we are here today. Even if they weren't around when we were growing up, thanks to our parents, we have this precious birth that we can use to the best of our ability. So on that note, I'm going to stop and just open up the floor if there are any questions, a question or two.
หันธรรมยังธรรมคาถาสาธุการังตาดามาเซสาธุสาธุสาธุอนุโมทามิ
Questions or comments? And also those on Zoom, if you have a question, you can also type that in and that will be passed on. We've got a great team at the back here taking care of things. Yes. So somebody online, please. Who is that?
Hi, Ayya. Thank you so much for your teaching. And when you were saying in the beginning, Namo Tassa Bhagavato, the goosebumps and rapture and happiness arise in the body. So I just wanted to share the gratitude. And also I wanted to understand, I was thinking since I consider myself belonging to all the traditions, Mahayana, Theravada, and so on. So I wanted to hear your thoughts because mine sometimes wonders, for example, now the Bhikkhuni lineage is again getting revived, which is such a blessing for all of us, lay people especially. Do you think in the future sometime, maybe the other traditions, all the tradition can be combined and not seeing each other as like I'm Theravada, I'm Thai forest, I'm Burmese tradition, I'm Sri Lankan tradition, or I'm a Mahayana Zen tradition, and I'm Japanese. So somehow I feel like all the traditions have roots in Buddha's teachings. For example, Dalai Lama inspires so many people across all the traditions. So can we see sometime this happening in the future? As Buddha see all his children seeing each other, not putting anyone down, that no, this is not valid. Abhidhamma is not taught by the Buddha. It just was added later, or Mahayana teachings are not even Buddha's teaching. So might feel like, okay, the heart feels sad when hear these comments, but feel like connection is there with all the traditions for me personally. So if you can say something about that, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, this is what we do, human beings. You know, we're given this really beautiful teaching of the Buddha. The Buddha offers this teaching, which is liberating teaching. And then one person maybe really emphasizes one aspect of it, and somebody else emphasizes a different aspect. And then somebody else takes another piece and brings that up. And that's how it's one of the ways that these different lineages form. So there'll be an emphasis in one direction, then somebody else will counter that with an emphasis in a different direction. And I think that's kind of how it's evolved over the years, over the hundreds of thousands of years, that there'll be a difference of emphasis. If you go back to the Buddha's teaching, you'll find it's all there, like you say, that the basis of all of these different lineages and traditions and schools of Buddhism, is, if they don't have the Buddha's teaching in them, then they're not Buddhism, So they all have this. They all have the foundation in the Buddha's teaching with these different emphases. But then there's also this quite wonderful aspect, which is that the Dhamma, even though it was taught in India, in Iron Age India, 2,500 or 600 years ago, it's adapted to all of these different cultures. And that's a wonderful thing, actually. So, so in Japan it's taken on Japanese culture, in Thailand it's taken on Thai culture, in China it's taken on Chinese culture, and so on. And so that's it's a wonderful thing that it can adapt to these different cultures. And in America it's taking on American culture, psychology and therapy, and those things come into it here, and that helps people. So it's like there's a good side to it in that it's adapted and can be absorbed into all these different cultures and lived and assimilated into these different cultures. And then there's the unfortunate side, which is the identity. And the Buddha is pointing to us to let go of identity and fixed views, but inevitably the unenlightened mind attaches to an identity. We're this and they're that, and we're different, and then almost always we're better, they're worse, But the irony is that everybody does it. So each of those, the Mahayanas think they're better than the Theravadas, and the Theravadas think they're better than Mahayanas, and the Zen think they're better than everyone. No, not better than everyone, but I didn't mean it like that. But it's like we all do it. So it's just the foolishness of the unenlightened mind. So I think as the individual awakens on the path, we don't need to do that so much. But I think to hold on to to seek, to wish, if only that, can we all just be the same? Well, probably not. That probably won't happen. But individuals may awaken to and appreciate and express a sense of resonance with different styles of practice, and I see that happening. So yeah, we've got time for one more. Or do we not? No, maybe we don't. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. A short one. Yes, please.
I think this is actually an extension of the question that you just spoke to. You said something during your presentation that really excited me. I am from a non-theistic tradition or frame of mind. And you spoke of the Buddha and those who preceded him. And what that raised in my mind is this awareness I have of how much of what we do comes out of what we are as human beings prior to the arrival of a teacher. And I just wondered if you could expand on that a little bit more of what was in that comment you made.
Yes. So it may be a little bit different to what you were thinking, but the comment was that there were Buddhas before Sakyamuni Buddhas. So I think what I really want to point to is that the Buddha discovered the Dhamma. He didn't create the Dhamma. He didn't cook it up or anything. He discovered the Dhamma, and the Dhamma is the truth of the way things are. And it's like the thing to me that's remarkable is that we human beings can live. If we can carry on for hundreds, thousands of years, not seeing it, getting caught in this and that, and running after this and running away from that, and trying to become that, and trying to get away from dying, and we can just go on and on and on doing that. And then the Buddha, through incredibly hard work, he was a really dedicated seeker that went through incredible both exquisitely beautiful states and in terrible hardships, in order to understand the truth. And finally, after many years of seeking, discovered this truth, which was which he called the middle way, the way between the two extremes. And then he teaches the Noble Eightfold Path, which is the middle way. And it's very simple. It's just like a way of living that's skillful, and it also includes meditation and samadhi, and then in that part of the practice we see our experience more clearly. We see the truth of things more clearly. But it's so those Buddhas that came before him also discovered the same truth. The truth is always here, never goes anywhere. But it's trying to help us to let go. Let go, let go, let go. You know, and Ajahn Chah apparently said, you know, if you let go a little, you'll have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you'll have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you'll have complete peace. And I think that's what the Buddha was pointing to, learning how to let go completely. So I think we can end there.
Thank you, Ayya. So we have a little bit of time, but I think now it's time for a little bit of something. What's that? In the back. Next Wednesday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Arjun. Happy birthday to you.
All right, 3 sadhus, everybody. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we are usually more quiet as Buddhists. But as you can guess, a special day. Thank you for preparing this. Next Wednesday is Ajahn Nisabho's birthday. And good question, how old?
37.
37, he's a grown man. He's a grown man, yep. And you've been in robes for how many years?
It's 13.
13, okay. Well, we have a couple things. We'd like to open up the floor a little bit. Yeah. If people can see, yeah. This is an angry cat cake. That's Ajahn Nisabho's favorite meme, is the angry, grumpy cat. Thank you. Amazing, grumpy cat. Yeah. And you can make a wish, Ajahn.
Make it with me, Ajahn?
Yeah. Okay.
Should we blow on or do the hand thing?
Either way. Okay.
Blow.
Go. Okay. Nice. Sadhu. So many sadhus. There's going to be more sadhus as well. But just in celebration of Ajahn Nisabho and the Dhamma that he shares, wanted to open up the floor both to the monastics and to people who are very close, Ajahn Nisabho's parents and the Sangha coordinators, and then if we have time to other people, not just to celebrate Ajahn Nisabho's personal qualities, like he's handsome and he can stay in cold water for a long time, but some kind of like Dhamma inspiration that you've been inspired by. Sarah, actually, would you want to explain what this is? And I can as well.
I think you would do a better job.
Okay.
It did come from I asked Ajahn Nisabho what he would like for his birthday, and what he said he would like me to do is to, and his parents to do, is to make sure we fed someone in some way every day every day. And I thought, well, let's include the Sangha in that. wonderful wish. So, of course, we gave Glenn the job of making this particular box with, and Ajahn Kovala will explain what this practice is. And this is sort of a collage of pictures, and there's even pictures inside. And these are the cards that will.
He got me on a horse. Oh my God.
Whoa. As a child, he's on a horse. So this is what's called the Saraniya practice, which is making some kind of determination to give before you consume. So Sarah, as she was holding up, has these cards, and we're going to put this box, this beautiful box that Glenn made, up on the back table for the next month and a half, and people can fill out the cards, and we've got an explanation of the practice. Just whatever your determination is, say, for the next month and a half, I want to carry around a power bar and give it away to one person every single day. Or I aspire to go to my local food kitchen every week and give away food. And we've got a list of different places where you can give food especially. And people are very much encouraged to do that, to fill out a card and put it into the slot. And then sometime in December, we'll have a Sangha community sharing time, and people can share your experiences with giving on a daily basis, this giving before consuming practice. And then also at New Year's, we've got our vigil, and at midnight, people can share their experiences as well. And right now, yeah, exactly. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be giving before you've consumed. You don't have to give before breakfast, and it doesn't have to be to a human. You can give to your plant, give to your dog, your cat, whatever it is. But humans are also really nice to give to. So maybe open it up for the venerables. Yeah, please. Yeah.
We have our lunch coming up. Well, I just want to appreciate Ajahn Nisavo's just wonderful welcoming friendliness. It's just always so kind and considerate, and just very inclusive. So including us, the siblings that just, I think without Ajahn Nisavo and Ajahn Kovala, we may not have landed here, because with their encouragement, I mean, amongst also Ayya and Anandabodhi also encouraged us to come this direction. So just warmth and smile, and just great appreciation for all that. True friendship. And so, should I pass this down?
I'm quite moved by that birthday wish that so many people will benefit from on so many levels. It's really beautiful. And yeah, Ajahn Nisabo, you're really one of a kind. And I'm so happy to meet you in this lifetime. And I'm very inspired by your brightness and great heart and real deep love and respect for the monastic form. It's kind of marvelous. And I'm really happy that you're my Dhamma sibling and that I live not too far away. It's really truly a blessing to know you and to keep watching you transform and get more and more kind of, I don't know, generous and skillful. And I also want to say I'd like to bring in to my own consciousness more clearly your skillful speech, because I find your speech extremely skillful, and that's something I would like to.
Any other Ayya, or should we pass on? We can always circle back.
Very briefly. Deep appreciation for so many characteristics, but I'll focus on the listening, the capacity to listen, the capacity to reflect, and the capacity to respond.
Ayya Sivijana said that she credits Clear Mountain partially for being here, and I'm the same way as well. Ajahn Nisabo, you've helped me so much over the years and introduced me to many people, and so I think the reason I'm here today is because of you, and I feel so honored to be joining this beautiful community. It's truly amazing to me each time that I see it and I'm here. So I hope you live a very, very long time and and continue to do all the amazing work that you're doing to make Seattle a beautiful and friendly, welcoming place. Thank you.
Ajahn Nisabo probably knows better than anyone how little I like to talk. So this is quite a pressure, but it's also quite an honor, and I wish to thank you very much for your inspiring example of good friendship, good comradeship, good companionship as the whole of the holy life.
And before passing it on to all of our close people, of which most of you are, I just wanted to say, I love me some Ajahn Nisabo. He's a great monk brother, and I'll just let the potato with your face on it say the rest. Yep. Sadhu, you're great. Every year we try to give each other a potato with our faces on it. So, yeah, every year. Oh yeah, what happens to the potato? My mom has, I think, buried some in the garden and has cooked other ones. So, yeah. You can make it Saraniya practice. Give it away.
Oh, goodness. Ajahn, yeah, getting to live in such proximity to you has been one of the greatest blessings of my life. And our kitchen Dharma talks have been beautiful. And yeah, you're just amazing person, inspiring in so many ways, body, speech, mind, conduct. It's just so beautiful to witness. And I look forward to many, many more years to be practicing with you. A few things about the box. Ajahn was wondering why I was up until 1 o'clock last night. The front of the box on top has 13 golden Dharma wheels to represent your 13 vasa over here, beside your face. There's 37 black Dharma wheels here to represent your regular human life. And then the box is surrounded by pictures of Sangha on the outside. And then the front honors your family, front and center, your parents. And if you want to open the box, you can. The box is tied with a ribbon, and that torn cloth is from a kitchen monk named Potato Masher. Ajahn built a little monk in the kitchen. We dressed it with a tea towel. And then inside are your Dharma family. At the bottom of the box is a picture of the Buddha that represents Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So as we drop the cards into the box, the representation is that we're doing it in Nisabo's name, but also giving it to the Buddha. And lastly, the lights is to represent the light that grows in us through your teaching us and our practice, and light internally, light externally. So yeah, thank you.
I want to give other people a chance. I get to tell them all the time how much I love him and how important he is to me. So anybody else back here too? And then we can pass it out there.
Ajahn, you have brought so many beautiful teachings and access to amazing teachers into my life. But personally, I think, you know, having an example of someone so dedicated to practice and the path, who's also so heart forward and has a creative spirit, really helped me like integrate and understand those qualities in myself, and that I could bring those qualities onto the path, that they weren't an obstacle. So really, yeah, I'm so grateful.
John? All that I'd just like to ask everyone, look around 360 degrees.
On behalf of the entire community, happy birthday. And you mentioned parents, and I want to be reminded that each of you were babies once. And I want to thank the parents of all of you, and especially your parents today. And I want to just think for a moment, I was just thinking for a moment, each of you were little babies crying in the night with earaches and fevers and had nappies to be changed and schools to be picked out. And what seed was planted? What happened? What mysterious things, what beautiful things happened that brought you here to us today? It's just touching and miraculous. So thanks to your parents, and especially to these parents today.
Namaskar Ajahn, Namaskar Ayya. When I first see him 5 years ago, after first talk, we talked to my friend Anita, said, he's mai thamada. In Thai language, Ajahn, it's mai thamada. And then every time I do the chantings in the morning or in the evening, and when I chant to Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho, you know, and then come down to Yaya Patipanno, Sami Je Patipanno, Ahuneyo Takkino, words of giving, words of respectfulness. And then his pictures come in. Oh, these our ajahns come in every time I do the chanting, Sangha. So, since maybe this is the reason that he helped us to bring our energy of practice, to be a practitioner, to be really an ubasika. And Ajahn Nisapod really open-minded to listen to the advice, to the talk, even slow person, and not just anything that we advise, and he's really listened to. I really, really appreciate it. And happy birthday, Ajahn. Thank you very much.
My tamada in Thai means literally not normal, but not like abnormal, but like special. He's special.
That was very brotherly of you.
Chanita, call. If anybody else would like to share, we might have time for one or two more. And then we'll go back to Ajahn Nisabo. Maybe you can still speak. Suze, please.
A couple years ago, Ajahn, you reached out to many of us at Seattle Insight, us lay teachers and local Dharma leaders, and you were so gracious and so warm in your invitation to come. And we walked in Discovery Park where you still had that thing on your foot, and you were hobbling along. And I remember you asked me what were my thoughts about building community. And it was such a warm invitation from a sister, brother, Sangha community, and I think all of us at Seattle Insight have really appreciated that, that growing connection. So a big thank you.
Maybe. And yeah, let's have Mary on Zoom be the last share for this round.
Thank you. I just want to share my happiness that you are in my life. And I want to say that having known you as a youngster and watching the spark of the Dharma grow within you and following that and seeing what has happened has truly led me further and further into the Dharma and opened my heart. I can't not try to cry at this, so I won't even bother to try. But thank you so much from the depth of my heart for being you, for following the Dharma, for leading so many of us along the way. Truly from my heart to yours. Thank you, Ayya.
And let's do 3 sadhus for everybody. Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
And Ajahn, we'll pass it on to you. You can have the last word.
No pressure. Have to be humble, have to express gratitude, have to all the things. I feel so blessed to be here with all of you. It's been, these last years have been a dream, and they felt like falling in love. And I count just the deep currents that have drawn us all together. I feel them at work almost every day. And the blossoming of goodness here, the Ayya's coming with Ajahn Kovilo, my brother who puts up with my good and bad parts, my parents coming here with everyone. I just feel like we're, something very beautiful is coming, and I just feel astounded that I get to be some part of it as well. And I will work to live up to those kind words that people said, and to, yeah, that grumpy cat looks really grumpy. Maybe put a smile on its face someday. Yeah, I'm so grateful. Also, if you want to see me in a dress, there is a picture of that here. Mount St. Helens, on Mother's Day, you would climb it in dresses together. So, thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
All right, yeah. Let's do 3 more sadhus, and whoever has blowers can do those things too. All right. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right. All right.
She is going back to Thailand, and she hopes that everybody support her, support him.
มีโอกาสช่วยเหลืออาจารย์และผู้พิสุทั้งหลายได้ทำนุบำรุงพระพุทธศาสนาเผยแพร่พระธรรมคำสั่งสอนของพระพุทธองค์และได้รู้และพระอริยสงฆ์เจ้าตามแต่กำลังทรัพย์กำลังกายและโอกาสอำนวยให้และยินดีที่ครอบครัวอาจารย์ได้มาอยู่
Very grateful and hope that we all achieve the Dhamma, practice the Dhamma, and that Clear Mountain achieves all success. And so much thanks to Ajahn Nispo's parents as well. So, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Well, let's actually, before we have more offerings.
Lek, Sirhorn, and and Chanita Yu and Mike are all going back to Thailand these coming months. And they've been with us for years now. And just 3 big sadhus for them. We wish you all the best luck. Come back to us and visit soon. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
And thank you all for your patience. Hopefully you'll get to eat some of this grumpy cat. And we'll close by doing the sharing, verses of sharing and aspiration. It's on page 33. So all the goodness that we've done, all the goodness in this sharing, just practicing sharing that somehow, this dedication of what we've done for the success of Clear Mountain, for the success of Parayana, for Pasadi, that we all grow in Dhamma. So page 33.
Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspiration. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the sun and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirits of the earth, and the Lord of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of my life. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, and through this act of sharing, may all desires and attachments quickly cease. May no harmful states of mind, until I realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May I have an upright mind, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken my resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge. Unsurpassed is the protection of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all these, may darkness and illusion be dispelled.
If people do take on that Saraniya practice, please share stories with us as it happens. We would love to hear about it as well. And just thank you to my parents, wherever the other one is. Okay. Thank you everyone.
We'll just, these are gifts for our visiting siblings. And now we've got, thank you, Ayya. We've got a potluck in the back. There's a lot of food. People bring food every week. And one announcement from Ajahn Nispo's dad.
These are to write down your intentions and put in the box. And you might want to take a little time to think about it. It took Doug and I some time to think about what we wanted to do. And don't feel in rush. This will be in the back all the way till New Year's, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so next week we'll have 11 visiting monastics, which will be great. You all should come to that. And until then, please help yourselves to the potluck. We'll all pay respects. Whoever would like to, we'll bow to the triple gem. And I think that's it. The Ayyas and us will be up here for a little bit if anybody had any questions for the next 20 minutes or so. But we can all pay respects, whoever is up to. No pressure. We could say goodbye to people on Zoom. Bye, everybody. All right.